For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Stacie Miller, and my big title is I am the Director of Religious Education for the Cathedral, which means anything to do with religious education for children or adults or RCIA, now OCIA. It kind of falls underneath me. And one of the topics that fall underneath me it's called Safe Environment. And like Liz says, I am called the Safe Environment Coordinator for the Holy Name of Jesus, Parish and School. What that means is I am responsible to make sure that every adult that is working with you teens and every adult in the parish and in the school that comes in contact with youth or elderly people are background checked and trained. And that's only a little part of what we do here. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today and talk to you about safe environment and what that means, especially in a church setting. Schools require background checks to be done every year for any volunteer that steps foot into them. Your parents do it by their license, and we get online through a database and we update. We do the same thing here at Cathedral and in the Diocese of Raleigh. We all keep our background checks updated and our trainings updated. Okay, so some of the topic today that we're going to be talking about might be sensitive to some of you. So the first rule is if you need to step out of the room, step out of the room. Liz is right out into the hall. If you need a minute, please feel free. Okay? Everybody agree? Thumbs up if we agree. Good, good, good. Awesome. Okay. It's been a glorious day. Okay. So guys, I want you to think about something. Can any of you think of something that you have or you own that if you lost it, you would be really upset? You can think of something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got me a great phone. She said if I lost it, I'm dead. So.
Material things, right? So I'm going to get there, trust me. Okay. So there are things that may be important to you that may be a prized possession. Maybe it's something that is material. Maybe it's something that's sentimental to you. Maybe it's something that you truly feel is irreplaceable. Some things are replaceable, some things aren't. For me, if I lost something sentimental to me, like it just so happens, and I did not do this on purpose, but I always wear 2 rings on my fingers. This one is my mom's wedding ring band that was given to me on my wedding day. This one is from my Aunt Linda. She has been my saving grace since I was a child. My parents were divorced when I was at a very young age. It was not a good divorce. And there was a lot that occurred in our life that made the divorce really bad. And home wasn't always the safest place to be. But anytime I'd go to my Aunt Linda's, it was safe, it was opening, it was welcoming, and I always knew, no matter how bad things were, that was the place I could go to where I was comforted, I felt loved, I felt welcomed, I felt supported, and throughout everything, my Aunt Linda just kept saying, you are who God made you to be. There are great things for you as you're And I firmly believe that that was true because I kept up with my education, even though that was not fully supported in my home. I wanted to teach, and I always felt a calling to teach. And it was her who was always there saying, "You've got this." That message still today comes through. When I'm having a bad day, I call my Aunt Linda. And she just keeps saying, "You are who you were meant to be." And in Genesis 1:27, it reminds us that God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. In today's society, especially with social media the way that it is, sometimes people may not feel that way. But many of you in this room have heard me, and we've got a lot of new friends, so maybe you haven't. I have a famous saying. It's called, "You were made on purpose, for a purpose, for the greater good." And the greater good starts with yourself, which means we're called to take care of us and of each other. Because being part of the greater good is when you go out and you just get through your hard times, support those that are having struggle times, and then turn around and know everything's going to be okay when you get over that hump. Because everybody has up and downs, right? Somebody has good days, sometimes you have bad days. But you need that safe place to go to for those days that are good and bad and ugly, right? Because you want to share your joy with the people that surround you and give you that safe space just as much as your struggles. Unfortunately, not all people care about us and you and others as a child of God or in the likeness of God. Some people want to take away your value as a human, and they want to take away your dignity. It could be maybe your social class and your status. Maybe it's your race. Maybe it's your gender. Maybe it's the language that's spoken at home. Maybe it's the shoes that you wear. Maybe it's that you are a female or that you are a male. Some people need to feel that they're better than others, and they attempt to diminish your value through discrimination or by harming you or others around you, physically, emotionally, or sexually. This is a grave sin, and this is not what God intended to have happen, because these take away your dignity, and that's not okay. Here at the Catholic Church, we have guidelines that we need to follow to ensure that you guys are tended to and that you have a safe place, just like schools have. But I have a rule myself, and I get laughed at, but I call it that it is our job to make sure that we are creating a happy, healthy, comfortable environment. And when I say happy, I do not mean that every person that walks through that door or Cathedral School is supposed to walk in every day at every class and be, woohoo, we're here. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that they know that they are loved as a child of God, and that when they walk through those doors, they have a safe place. Not only the children, teens, families, and adults. What I call HHC, happy, healthy, comfortable, ensures that every student knows that we're here. We are here to listen, to talk about, to stand with you, to support you. If someone's being harmed, bullied, assaulted, or feel lost, we are here. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops requires us to ensure that we are following the safe environment, that we are always 2D, 1-2, in the room, right now with you. A person of power. So when I say power, it could be a leader, it could be a teacher, it could be a priest or clergy or an adult who's in charge. Okay, so when I say a person in power, I'm not meaning, power. I mean anybody who is power over you. Will never request to meet you alone outside of your life team nights or small groups. They will never ask you to keep any secrets. We are here totally to respect your privacy, which means if you tell us something, we are not here going to stand at the rooftop and blab it to everybody who comes across our path. Okay, but all of us who work with you are what is called mandated reporters. So are your teachers in school. So are your coaches in your sports. They are mandated reporters, which means if somebody comes to me and tells me something's happening, they're being abused, they're being neglected, they're being assaulted, or they are being harmed, it is our job to report it. This is very important that everybody knows that I don't care who it is. If somebody's getting hurt or feel uncomfortable, like HHC is not happening, I don't care who it is. I will report them. And the authorities will handle it. And when I mean reporting them, that's certain things are 911 calls, certain things are social service calls. It really depends upon what it is. What's the difference, between 911, hello, and social services? Well, a child who is struggling, not getting food is neglect, okay? And that is going to be a social service call because they have the resources to help that family. If somebody comes in and I see bruises on them and burn marks, that's a 911 call. Because first they need to get medical attention. And second of all, I want the police involved right away. Okay? So every situation is different. A little bit of my background, which I did not write on here, but I think it's important that I share with you. I am an educator. My degree is in education. I have been teaching and or directing of some form of education programming since 1995. I have made the call for every form of abuse that there is, including sibling abuse. And I've had to make a call on a teen who didn't know how to control their anger. And they had a lot of anger for a lot of reasons. They were valid reasons why they had so much anger. But unfortunately, they took it out on their mother. And that was not okay. So I've made one of those calls too. That one was social services because they needed the assistance to get them the help that they needed for that family. Okay. Another part of safe environment is you will never be touched. And when I mean touched, I mean you will never be hit here or in the school. That is not part of our discipline. It's not old school where the, Sister Karen used to walk in and tell his need to put up his knuckles because he was misbehaving. It's not going to happen. Okay? Oh, it's bad. Bad memories. You're also sexually never going to be touched here or in an inappropriate manner. Okay? That's all part of safe environment. You will never be spoken to in a way that makes you uncomfortable, demean you, or make you feel anything other than a child of God, because that breaks my rule, right? Happy, healthy, comfortable, my HHC. We will never post photos without a photo release form of any kind. And absolutely under no circumstances will inappropriate photos be released. We cannot follow you on your social media. You cannot follow us on our private social media until you have graduated out of our program, over the age of 18 and out of high school. Then we can become friends. Okay? Fun fact here, folks. I wrote it down. In the state of North Carolina, it is a crime to disclose a private image of another person without their consent. If the defendant knowingly discloses the image of another person, harass them, demean them, or cause financial loss to that person, they can be charged. The law applies to the disclosure of private sexually images of any person. So if the statute is called Disclosure of Private Images, and it took place effective on December 1, 2015, you can be charged, which means if you get something on your cell phone that's an image of a person that's not respectful, but in a compromising position, and you press send and forward it to 5 people, you now have distributed pictures without consent, which means you can be charged. So if somebody has done that to you, if anybody has ever taken a picture of you and messed with it and or sent it without your approval, you can take legal action on them. Okay? It's very important that you guys understand this. We work very hard to make this a safe place for all of you. And if you ever feel that your dignity or your safety is in jeopardy, then we are here for you guys to tell us, or you are always welcome just to pick up the phone and call 911. I support that. My volunteers, I tell them all the time, if you see something and you want to say something, you do not need to go through me. You can pick up the phone and call 911 if you're not comfortable calling social services. And I have no problem with that because I will 100% support them, no matter who that person is. I don't care how high of authority they go. We are here for you. We are here to listen. We are here to support. We're here to stand with you and to help you with whatever you need. And if any of you have ever been put into a position of any form of abuse, The most important thing is to know it's not you. Or if you know of a friend who's been placed in an abusive situation or has been hurt by somebody else, it's not them. It's the person that's using the power over them. And that's not okay. And the people who need that type of power over somebody else truly needs help. And it's helping the greater good to be brave, to get them that help. And sometimes that help is what I call an adult timeout. And there are some people who just need an adult timeout. It's okay. And the victims need our prayers